What's up with everybody? It's your man Mario B.
And Nicole.
And we're back here with another reaction video. A special video request from Guest Gamer. Guest Gamer want us to react to
Camp 30, A Prisoner's Paradise.
A Prisoner's
This
Paradise.
is interesting because it seems like an oxymoron.
Yeah, because
Prisoner in Paradise.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what's kind of crazy about it. But
It looks clearly like on some kind of old war film.
yeah. So we definitely looking forward to checking this out. We thank you, Guest Gamer, for your support.
Thank you so much.
If you want to suggest a video to us, help support the channel, check out the links to our Streamlabs. It's going to be in our description and our video cards. And also keep it under 10 minutes. Let's dive right into it.
The Second World War. Sometimes it
World War
feels
II.
like we must have heard about every heroic deed, every tragic defeat, every hard-won battle on the Western Front. But this was a global war. And as it turns out, some of the strangest and most overlooked moments happened in Canada. Like the tiny invasion of Newfoundland the Germans launched to set up a weather station.
What?
No one even found until 1977.
Wow.
Yeah.
17 U-boats that prowled the waters of the St. Lawrence. And
Really?
the Japanese bombs floating on weather balloons that fell on the prairies.
What? There was some weather balloons?
What?
I didn't know about that.
We're here in unassuming Bowmanville, the site of the only clash between Axis and Allied powers to take place in rural Ontario. This is Canadiana.
Canadiana. Interesting.
Yeah. Canadiana.
Wow.
Yeah, look at it.
It's 1940, and things
Whoa.
are not going very well for Britain.
Yeah.
London is being devastated by German bombs. It seems entirely possible that England could be invaded and occupied. And that wouldn't
That would've
just
been
mean
crazy.
lost territory.
Yeah.
Thousands of German infantry and officers are being held prisoner here. Occupation would mean all those soldiers back on the field. And worse,
It's just
contingent
crazy how
high-
powerful Germany was at that time. You
Yeah.
know, how many different countries had to band together to take them out. But Germany and Japan was kind of like,
Yeah,
they was like
Japan,
allies.
Japan and Italy
Yeah.
allied with Germany.
Yeah, but it's just crazy,
Yeah.
you know.
They were super strong there for a
Yeah.
while.
ranking officers able to command again. So the Allies decide to put an ocean in the way. It will be a year before the United States joins the war. So it falls on Canada to scramble together 26 POW camps, including one here, just outside Bowmanville, Ontario. It used to be a boys' reform school, but in 1941 it was frantically refitted into Camp 30, just in time
Interesting.
for the first prisoners to arrive. Its past life as a school gave it some decidedly unprison-like amenities. In fact, life for German POWs
True.
in Canada was quite a bit more comfortable than you might expect. They had an indoor pool,
What?
full athletic facilities, including a basketball and tennis court that was flooded in the winter so they could play hockey. They formed a symphony orchestra and a theater troupe
They was in
to put on
paradise.
Shakespeare productions. Camp 30 had also been built on fertile farmland, and the prisoners took advantage of it. They brought in enormous harvests. Canadians in the surrounding areas, living under war rations, claimed the Germans were eating better than they were. And there was certainly a
Yeah.
vast gulf between the treatment of these enemy soldiers and the thousands of Japanese Canadians rounded up into hellish internment camps. The POWs even continued to receive pay from Germany, not to
What?
mention Christmas bonuses from Hermann Goering, commander
The
of
heck?
the Luftwaffe, allowing them to buy from an expansive commissary. Even
Dang.
more incredible, they were allowed to spend their money on day trips.
What?
Ehrenwort is a German word for a culturally deep-seated sense of honesty and honor. The Germans took it very seriously, and the Canadians knew it. So they trusted the Germans to go shopping in nearby towns, swimming in Lake Ontario, or cross-country skiing, knowing they'd honestly and honorably come back to Camp
Wow. And they
30 for a
actually
round
did?
of tennis
Yeah.
and an evening
Well,
swim before
when
bed.
I was gonna say, when you
In
have
fact, the POW
Like when your life's that easy, why not go back?
Yeah, I mean,
you get a round of tennis and some swimming before you go to bed.
Yeah, you get all that
and food on your plate.
You know, easy things that make things easy for you in life.
Yeah,
so
interesting though.
Yeah.
POWs had to be disciplined by their officers because their letters home were so glowing it bordered on treason. The guards, mostly Canadian veterans of the First World War, spoke fondly of the time they spent here. So deep was their sense of trust with their wards, they'd lend the prisoners rifles to go hunting.
Oh my god!
It was like a strange fairy tale they were all living. And then,
yeah, it is like a fairy tale.
Canadian brigadier, half a world away, it all came crashing down.
Yep, that was the end of paradise.
August 19th, 1942, 0500 hours. 6,000 Allied infantrymen, mostly Canadians, pour onto the beach at the French town of Dieppe to take it back from the Nazis. One of them has made a fateful mistake. He's kept a copy of his operational orders with him. The assault is a disaster, one of the most notorious days in Canadian military history. 60% of the Allied force is killed, wounded, or captured, and among them, a brigadier with his operational orders. The document is seized and makes its way up the German ranks. All the way up. Buried deep within the document is a reference to the binding of Axis prisoners. And after the Battle of Dieppe and a British raid, the Nazis allegedly fined German prisoners who had been bound and then shot. Hitler sees a propaganda opportunity. He falsely connects the dots. The Allies, he says, are butchers on orders to tie up German soldiers and execute them.
Yeah, this dude Hitler.
Soon, he issues the infamous Commando Order, declaring Allied special forces exempt from the Geneva Convention. They'll be shot on sight, even if they surrender. But first, Berlin announces that more than 1,000 prisoners from the Battle of Dieppe will be shackled, most of them Canadian. It's up to Canada to respond, and they decide to retaliate in kind. Back at Camp 30, the Germans' relative paradise is about to be shattered.
Oh man.
Yeah. To be destroyed.
So now they're going to take
Canadian
those prisoners.
guard approaches the ranking German officer and asks that he volunteer 100 of his men to be shackled. The officer refuses. So, to his subordinates, negotiations break down quickly. None of the POWs show up for the next roll call. When the order comes to shackle the prisoners by force, the Germans barricade themselves in the camp's buildings. The battle of Bowmanville is about to begin.
Dang.
The largest concentration of prisoners is here, in the mess hall, and the guards believe that if they can break through, the rest of the buildings will follow. All day, they're at a standoff. The Canadians arm themselves with baseball bats. The Germans with anything they can get their hands on. Hockey sticks, beer bottles, jam jars. The Germans are itching for a good fight. They're treating the whole situation like a sporting match. For the aging members of the Canadian Veterans Guard,
they're all older.
50 Chinese are on their way from a nearby military camp, so they're content to wait. That evening, the young soldiers arrive, and the siege begins. Over the next several hours of brawling, there were bruises and bloody noses.
I'm sure it
the
was.
worst injury suffered is on the Canadian side.
I kind of wonder, was there any broken bones?
And a thrown jar of jam.
Dang!
Finally, the prisoners in the mess hall are subdued, and over the next 2 days, the other buildings follow. The siege aided by high-powered water hoses. At last, the POWs agree to lay down arms. In the aftermath, 126 prisoners are relocated to other camps. Those who remain must be shackled.
Dang.
But in a strange coincidence, the guards accidentally drop the keys to the shackles every day, right after roll call.
Oh my god.
They did it on purpose?
Yes.
Yeah. So they can like unlock themselves.
Yeah.
And then the war was over. 35,000 prisoners across Canada began the
Dang,
long
that's a
process
lot.
of returning to their homeland. Germany was a blasted out shell,
I was gonna
a
say,
crumbling
there's nothing
ruin
of
of its
Germany
former
left.
glory, drenched in
Desolate
fascism
wasteland.
and with an uncertain future. For many returning prisoners, it was unrecognizable. And because
sure.
of the kindness and trust they've been shown here, the place that came closest to embodying that sense of home was now Canada. More than 6,000 prisoners asked to stay here permanently as soon as the war was over, and even more would
Did
immigrate
Canada let
back
them stay,
later,
though?
Yeah.
citing the hospitality they'd been shown as prisoners. As the wife of one such man put it, his greatest piece of luck was being sent to Canada as a prisoner of war.
Well, I mean, when you treat it like you're in
Interesting.
paradise.
Does sound like that was kind of luck to get that prison gig.
Yeah. They say they had a basketball court. They had all these.
What'd you say?
They had a basketball court. They had.
Yeah, like they had an indoor pool.
Yeah.
It sound like they had tennis courts. I mean, they basically had anything you could want because
Yeah.
it was an old school, so it's basically set up for that.
Yeah.
And they had like an orchestra band. And,
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you have to remember you're in a foreign country and you're away from your family.
Yeah.
Right? That would be the worst part. But other than that, like they kind of had a life going. It seems.
Yeah.
Like a padded life.
And
They
then
weren't working.
when the war was over with, they went back home. Some went to come back.
A lot of them came back.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it was definitely pretty interesting,
Really
man.
interesting.
Never knew about this.
I would have
you know.
never known about it either.
Yeah. But yeah, Guest Game.
Yeah, thank you so
definitely
much.
thank you for this awesome video and your support of the channel. But we're about to get into this video. Don't forget to subscribe,
And thumbs it up.
turn on notifications. It's your Memorial B.
And Nicole.
Want to catch you on the next one. Stay awesome. Peace and love, baby.